Hey, you know what we're doing today?
Awesome things.
I mean, yes. But besides that,
What are we doing?
we're going to talk about a video game.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it's real surprising. We're going to talk about a game we kind of mentioned last week. Well, I guess we did mention, but now one of us has completed it after 1,000 years.
And I mean, to be fair, I've completed it many times before this, so it's not too upsetting that I haven't completed it by the time that we did this podcast, but
You had a little bit more important things to worry about, I think,
a little bit.
going into this. Hello. This is episode number 32 of the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello. I'm Jared, joined as always by the best podcast co-host on the planet of Earth.
What about the planet of Venus and Mars and Jupiter? Did you know that we went by the Jupiter spot recently?
I mean, I don't know of the quality of their podcast host, so I'm not at liberty to say. I'm not a trained podcast statistical analysis historian of other planets. But I do know this planet,
All right.
and that's Ladyem.
Oh, thank you.
You're now
Hello.
a planet. Congratulations.
Yay, I'm a planet.
And today we're going to talk about one of the most lauded games in a long-running franchise.
We're going to talk about a planet that went through.
That's also true.
Yeah.
I feel like if you talk about Final Fantasy on the internet, or even like you just say the words out loud, there's like a 75% chance someone's going to run up to you and be like, yo, have you played Final Fantasy 6 yet? You should play Final Fantasy 6. It's the best one. Which brings with it, like some intense feelings for a lot of people, some weight to it, to where it's like, this thing has been put up on such a high pedestal. Is it as good as people say it is? Is it worth the wait to play it? Is it worth it to play it? I think that's a even better question. And hello, I'm here with the answer to that question. You'll find out in the next 2 hours.
I mean, in my opinion, it's telling that I have a poster in my apartment of the cast of Final Fantasy VI. Because I don't have posters of any other Final Fantasy.
Which is surprising.
It is surprising. Because Final Fantasy VI is not my favorite. It is one of my favorites, but it's not my favorite. But it has a wonderful cast. I take donations of Final Fantasy 8 and 9 posters, guys.
And probably some 10-2 posters as well.
Yeah, or 10 if it's just Riku. Basically,
yeah,
send me Riku stuff, guys.
I haven't quite come to terms with where 6 would be on my list, which we talked about I think when I played 8.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't remember the order of that list to begin with, so
mine literally changes every time somebody asks me, and it just depends on my mood.
I think that's completely fair. I think 6 could easily be a top 2 or top 3 game.
6 is in my top 5.
Yeah. It's
good.
I feel like using the word masterpiece is almost is a hard thing to say at times, but this game might be a masterpiece.
It nails it. I mean, it really, really does.
Especially for the for 16-bit RPGs, I think.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Because I don't think I've ever played a 16-bit RPG or even game in general that's as cinematic and as and has as much storytelling as that game does.
Right.
Which is astonishing, I think, that they are able to pull all that sort of stuff off, and with the limited capabilities that the Super Nintendo had, or even any console at the time particularly had, it's literally amazing. And even coming back to it over 20 years after the fact that they came out, and being just blown away by it is a real testament to how good that game is.
Well, and I played it when I was a kid, and even going back now, I'm still wow, this is such a great game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I
So
mean,
good.
there's no way to put it in like the. It's just such a great game,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, like I said, the story is wonderful. The way it looks is wonderful. It plays really well.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the characters. I mean, some of the optional ones I don't get as attached to, but the ones that are your core party members that have a story and you have to get them, they're great.
Yeah. I'm going to hit you with a question
Give
about
it your best shot.
the party in just after this, but I want to read you a quote that I found on this Final Fantasy VI Wikia
Okay.
from Nobuo Uematsu from the liner notes of Final Fantasy XIV Battle Tracks.
I would say, why is Uematsu commenting on this? Anyway, go ahead.
Basically, he's saying something that Sakaguchi said about the game.
Okay.
And he says, quote, I still remember when, during the launch party for Final Fantasy VI, the notoriously unforgiving Mr. Sakaguchi gave a speech. Thanks to every one of you, we have created the best game in the world. No, the universe. Thank you. I cried. There were tears on my face. Those tears made me realize just how much I had invested myself in the project. I hope that the Final Fantasy games forever continue to be a source of joy, not only for the fans, but for the developers as well. It's too bad that last part didn't hold true.
Nope.
So yeah, like, it's amazing that even like Sakaguchi at the time was like, yo, this is the best game we've ever made.
And I mean, he's right.
He's right, yeah. Like, up to that point, yeah. Like, I think it's probably is like the best Final Fantasy game they had made at that point. Like, considering they had done 1 through 3, and then 4 is a fantastic game in and of itself. 5 I haven't really dug into, but I've heard good things about it. And then it's like, but specifically, and just like it feels like with 6 they finally like they knew the system they were working with. They knew the limitations. They knew what they could do with it, and basically they crafted like the best game possible for that system.
I can agree with that. It's just mind-blowing how good this game is, and considering that it came out in 94?
Yeah.
Like, how is it possible that a game this good came out in 94? It's amazing what they did with what they had.
Which is what, like 3 years into the Super Nintendo's life cycle?
I think so, because I know that 92 is Link to the Past.
Because that's, for the most part, like for the later generations of consoles, maybe from like PlayStation onwards, like you kind of feel like 2 to 3 years in, that's when like developers are finally starting to get the hardware, finally start to understand like what to do with the hardware, like how they can use the tech in different ways. But even then, it's still maybe like year 4, year 5, where you're seeing like these companies like make games that are pushing the limits of the console, and they know what they're doing. But these guys did it in year 3 after they already made 2 other games on the system already. Like I feel like you don't really see
2 other Final Fantasy titles.
Yeah, like two other really good games on the system. Like you don't really see that happening nowadays, specifically like in that short of a time span, really.
No, you really don't. It's unheard of. It's actually unheard of that Square will get out a game like within a year of it being announced, 2 years, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Square takes like 10 years now to get a game out. So knowing what they were doing back then and how great the quality was, like 4, 5, and 6 are all wonderful games. 6 is obviously like the crown of it. It's the game that's at the top of that stack and saying like, I'm the best and you're never going to dethrone me.
Which
speaking, the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Which speaking of Square and not being able to get games out, I heard a quote from our favorite Square Enix employee Tetsuya Nomura about why Kingdom Hearts 3 hadn't come out yet, and he was like, "Oh, it was the switch to Unreal Engine 4 and the Square Enix management team is why this game hasn't come out yet." It's like totally not the fact that all of your other games have taken 10 years to make, dog.
Yeah, no, like he
sucks.
He sucks. He sucks really bad.
That's all we need to say.
No, he does. He sucks terribly. And
# dunk on Nomura.
Dunk on Nomura. He needs to be replaced.
I mean, he worked on this game, so we can kind of talk about him, but
he did work on this game, and he didn't really become prominent in the company until after this game. He
Yeah.
did some work, but this wasn't one of his
Mm.
games. It's also worth mentioning, if I remember correctly, this is the first one that didn't have Sakaguchi as the director.
Yeah, because the director, I forget his name. I'm scrolling down to find
Does it
it.
start with a K?
Yeah, Yoshinori Kitase, who would
Yeah,
go on to direct, I think, 7 and 8 as well.
that sounds right. And he did the 13 trilogy, which was a mistake, but he did those two.
Sometimes when you take a break off directing games and come back, like you're gonna swing and a miss sometimes.
Yeah. I think that was him. It might have been the other guy, but anyway.
This says he was only a producer on those, so maybe not.
Okay. Anyway, things happen, and I don't know. I don't know how to say it enough times that Final Fantasy VI is a wonderful game. But that's not interesting to listen to. What I think I want to talk about is
Before we get to that, though, I want to ask you the question I was going to ask you.
okay.
Who's the main character of Final Fantasy VI?
Okay, so there's an issue with this that I was going to bring up because there is some weird gender dynamic stuff going on here, which is kind of my specialty, if you will.
Yeah.
And that Terra's the protagonist, period. She is. She's on the
Are you
artwork.
sure?
Yes. Just listen to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
She's on the artwork. She's the character that you really follow along throughout the story, and a lot of what she does drives it and what she thinks. And are you ready for the gender aspect?
Yes.
So she would have been the first female protagonist of a Final Fantasy game.
Correct.
What they say about who's the protagonist of Final Fantasy VI is that there's not one.
Yeah, like I think they essentially say it's an ensemble cast, basically.
It's
So
the whole cast
yeah.
is the protagonist. But then, like, I don't think that's accurate. Terra drives the story. Terra is super important. You always have to go find her, except for at the end. And she's kind of your link to Espers.
Yeah.
And I think to discredit her as not the protagonist is really bizarre. And to say that any other character in Final Fantasy, like, you could say, oh, hey, Squall is not the protagonist because, look, we have this ensemble. Or you could say Zidane's not the protagonist because we have this ensemble. And I think even more so if you're considering, like, 10. I've already argued to you, and you and I think, agree on this, that at the very least, Titus, whatever, and Yuna are deuteragonists.
Yeah.
But you could argue that whole cast is an ensemble cast, that they are the protagonists, because everybody's story is really important. And that's the case here. Everybody's story is really important, but I still think it's a disservice to not say that Terra is the protagonist.
It feels like it's almost like an excuse because basically half of that game you don't play as Terra.
Yeah.
Due to like circumstances where she's either out of commission or it's the latter half of the game and you have to basically round up everyone and doing that thing. I feel like for me, like, the game is kind of like split into thirds in terms of like protagonists.
I mean, you could argue that, like, Terra and Celeste are both the protagonists. But either way, like, you'd have a woman protagonist there.
I feel like those two definitely are, like, for at least a third of the game are like the main protagonists. They're trying to push for you, the character. And then I would argue like Locke maybe in the middle. But again, that depends like on who you have controlling, I think, your party as well in like that middle section when Terra's gone.
Yeah.
So like that kind of throws another wrench into that plan as well, which I think is probably another reason why they're like, it's an ensemble cast because you can have pretty much anyone. Yeah. But like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying though. That like, I mean, Terra's the first character you meet. She's the one that kind of pushes the story along. She's the link from the Espers, which is a huge aspect of like the overarching story itself. And yeah, like she's basically the driving force of the story, as you said.
I mean, I'd be willing to go to bat for a dual Terra Celeste
Yeah, because
protag.
Celeste is basically who you basically are playing as from the end of the world onwards.
Okay,
When you're
so here, go ahead.
basically, because like she was the one who like kind of I felt was the driving force behind basically gathering everyone back up.
She was. So here's a new argument. World of Balance protag is Terra.
Mm-hmm.
World of Ruin protag is Celeste.
I could buy that.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, technically, you don't even need Terra to beat the game, right? You just need Celeste, Sabin, and Edgar.
I guess, yeah. I don't know how many people
No, wait,
you need to go.
You need Setzer. Sorry. You need him because of the airship.
Oh, yeah, right. So yeah, you could basically go and do that, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure those are the only ones you need. I could be wrong on that. But I know you have to have Celeste. I know you have to have Setzer. And I know you have to have Sabin.
Because those are like the three that the game really pushes you towards getting very like first thing off the bat. Because the first one you get is Sabin, right? Because like
Yeah.
he's saving the building, and then like you sneak off to the other continent to get Edgar, who's looking like a dork trying to be a criminal. And
When
then
is
you
Edgar not a dork?
that's true. And then you meet up with Setzer and you get the airship. And then the game's like, well, there you go off, do your own thing. But yeah, you could basically go end the game at that point.
Yeah, you could. It's
well,
actually like a thing that people do is like end the game with only those characters.
is that even possible? Because like you have to split the team into 3 different parties at that point. So would you have like one character per party?
It's possible.
What
You know, like how people do weird challenges for playing games, like the 3-heart challenges, Zelda, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the challenges is to go and complete the game with just those party members.
It's crazy.
It's like those who decide to go beat Ganondorf like within 30 minutes of playing Ganon in Breath of the Wild, and you're like,
right? Yeah.
How did you do this? But it's a thing. So I'd be more than happy to concede a deuteragonist of Terra and Celeste.
Yeah, I think that's completely 100% fair.
I like it.
Yeah. I guess for me though, like personally, when I was going into this game, like because like you see Terra's on the cover, she's the first person you meet, and whenever there's like Final Fantasy VI like fanfare out there and like other games like World of Final Fantasy per se, she's the character you meet.
And Dissidia.
We don't talk about that game.
Right. Also, if you pay attention to the music, Terra's theme is also like
the overworld map.
Yeah, the main theme.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like going into this, I thought like, she's going to be the main character. She's going to be with you the entire time.
Nope.
And then like, at the end of the first act or second act, maybe, like she's just gone. She's not with your party anymore. And she's gone for like a good part of the game.
She's having a freak out.
Yeah. It was not anything that I was expecting.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Because other games have that sometimes. Again, I'm thinking of Final Fantasy X. You have sections where you play just as Yuna.
Yeah.
So I mean, it does happen, but usually not for the extended amount of time that happens in Final Fantasy VI.
It's just funny, like the ways, like I think in between, like when you lose Terra, and then back when you get her back before everything goes to and back, that like the game just allows you to kind of like run the party however you want. And I feel like that level of like party customization, specifically for a Final Fantasy game, is like really unheard of. And
it is.
And basically any of the games, past and future and present and all that jazz. So like that's another thing that was like really surprising, was like the game's like, well, you don't really have a party leader now, so you get to decide what you want to do and who you want to be party leader and all that jazz. And I was like, okay. Wasn't expecting this. There's a lot of good things that like this game does to surprise you in just a variety of different ways. But like, it's kind of crazy as well, just like how much of this game I really didn't know,
Yeah,
given
that makes sense.
given the zeitgeist around it. But like, even though it's a game that like you hear people being like, oh, if you like Final Fantasy games, you should play 6. I feel like there's not a lot of like stuff out there about 6, like story wise, that people
you don't see
talk
people
about.
talk about the story a lot, and you don't see people talk about the characters a lot, actually.
Like you hear people talk about like Terra, and then it's basically Terra and Kefka are like the only two people you ever hear talked about in 6.
Correct.
Maybe Edgar and maybe Sabin, just because he suplexes a train.
You usually hear about Sabin because of the suplex. I rarely hear about Edgar, which is very disappointing because he's one of my favorite characters.
I feel like I knew about Edgar because of World of Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure you didn't know about Locke, which
No.
is upsetting because Locke is wonderful. People that have not played 6 but have played Kingdom Hearts 2 would know about Setzer.
It's poor people.
I know. He's in Kingdom Hearts. It was a really weird thing that he was in Kingdom Hearts 2. It didn't make any sense, but okay. He was
What
there.
a shocker!
Right. It made zero sense, and like he is your one representation of Final Fantasy VI. And I'm like, what? This makes literally no sense. And like you never hear anything about like Realm ever.
No.
Which is disappointing because she's a great character. I think every once in a while you hear something about Shadow, but not a whole lot.
I feel like I might have heard something about Cyan, just because of the way he speaks.
He speaks, yeah.
Because he has that like Shakespearean, Victorian, London style of speaking.
You know that Shakespearean and Victorian are two very different eras.
Sure, yeah.
He's Shakespearean.
I forget like what the era of Shakespeare is, which I should know, but I'm blanking on it.
Elizabethan?
Sure, yeah, that's right. Anyways.
And then like Mog, you don't really hear out about as a character. Like you know of him as a species, but not as a character.
Right. The cover art star for the American version.
Yeah. I know you never heard about Gao, the little wild,
no.
like no. Who the heck is this kid? Where did he come from? I'm just gonna leave him in the back of my party and never touch him again.
And be like, how do I get this kid to join my party? He's just yelling at me he's hungry.
He's hungry. You text me, you're like, he's hungry. What do I do? I'm like, give him some beef jerky.
And I'm just like, I can't. I'm in battle with him. I don't want to fight him.
You just have to punch him and run away.
I didn't want to. I don't want to be a jerk.
Then go buy him some beef jerky and make it up to him.
I like how after that he's just like, hey, it's me. I'm your friend.
Yeah, anytime you throw him into the belt after that, he comes back. He's like, hey, I'm your friend. Don't hit me, please.
Or when he comes back after, like, in the World of Ruin, he's like, it's me. Hello.
He was just like, wow, woo. Why are you saying this? I understand you're a wild child, but, like, don't say wow, woo.
What a weird kid.
Yeah, no, he's super strange. Is there anybody else that really surprised you? I mean, did you know anything about Celeste at all?
No.
Nothing about Celeste.
Nope. Nothing.
Wow, I'm surprised by that.
Zip zero nada.
You knew like nothing about the opera?
I'd heard about it. Like I knew that was a thing in Final Fantasy VI. I didn't know like context or like exactly what it was, but I'd heard like someone mention like, oh, there's an opera in Final Fantasy VI.
Okay.
But other than that, I had no idea what it was.
I know somebody that you knew before you played Final Fantasy VI.
Who?
Ultros.
Oh, yeah, because... Kingsglaive.
How in the world do you take Ultros from the character that he is in Final Fantasy VI and turn him into what he is in Kingsglaive? How does that happen?
Because Square sucks. That's why.
True. It is true, but like, holy crap, Ultros is one of the best characters Square ever made.
And then they just reduce him down to, ooh, spooky octopus thing. He's gonna kill everyone. Whoa! And it's like that's not how that character is at all in Final Fantasy VI. Like,
no,
go yourself, Square.
Like he's a boss fight, but he's literally comedic relief. Like he's supposed to make you laugh. and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Like when he shows up, he's like, "Hey, it's me, I'm back." It's so dumb. And like you go through like 2 or 3 boss fights with him, and then like in the World of Ruin, when you go to the Coliseum, he's like, "I got a job now. I'm doing this." I was like, "Why are you here?"
I love the part during the opera where you're supposed to fight him, but he's like, I wonder how she'll react with this weight on her shoulders. He's like trying to push this giant weight on her. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
It's straight out of it's a Looney Tunes gag. Like it's a
It is.
4-ton thing that he's like trying to push on her. And he's like, "I can't do it."
It's so, and this will take me at least 5 minutes, and then the 5 minute counter starts up, and you're like, oh my god, that's so funny.
So dumb.
I love Ultros. Like, he is a good character.
Yeah.
Even though, like, he sucks because he can do that tentacle attack and it hurts.
But it's definitely like it's a good recurring boss that that also is just like it's a villain, but like one you're not supposed to take seriously.
Which they kind of do the same thing with Kefka at first.
Mm-hmm.
That they're like, oh, here's a villain, but you're not going to take him seriously. Like, if you hit him once, he runs away. And he's like this goofy clown guy. And they're always like, oh, you know, I don't take him seriously. General Leo is much better. Da 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 da. And then, like,
Whoops.
One, he straight up, like, poisons an entire city at one point, which is so messed up.
I think that's the point where, like, when you realize, like, oh, just got real.
Yeah, like, at
Like,
that
this
point, you're
dude's
like, oh,
up.
I should probably take Kefka seriously.
I think that was like the point when I was like, I texted you and was like, you remember how Sephiroth was like this real goofy villain who did like, you know, he did a couple bad things, but like he was just weird.
Yeah.
Kefka's real up. Like this is an actual villain.
Kefka is literally the best Final Fantasy villain, period, full stop. I will not take any arguments on this. He is the best Final Fantasy villain. Because you're literally not supposed to take him seriously at first. And then once he starts doing stuff, you're like, oh my god. And then like it just keeps progressively getting worse. Every single thing he does, you're like, oh no. Until he literally succeeds at everything every Final Fantasy boss wants to do, which is either A, ruin the world, or B, become a god. And he does both.
He does both.
Like, he just wrecks as a villain. And also, like, Dancing Mad is the best villain theme, period.
No joke.
No,
no joke.
It's literally like a symphonic piece of music. It's beautiful. It has different
It's 17 minutes long.
It's 17 minutes long, and
with 4 different parts. Yeah.
There you go, the 4 different parts. I was trying to think of what the actual like musical phrase for it was, but I can't remember. But anyway, it has 4 different sections of it, and it's just mind-blowingly beautiful.
Like we talked about this early when like we were saying like, you know, this game is like it really pushed the boundaries of the Super Nintendo and like what they could do with it. Like that song is amazing that Uematsu was able to do it as this motorcycle goes by my house. Like how he was able to like create that and make it sound amazing on that sound chip is astonishing.
So I went to the wiki page to look up what the different phases are called. But instead, I found a quote from Uematsu. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, he says, well, usually when you make a song, it's 2 to 3 minutes in length. You have the introduction, the main part, and the ending. But for Dancing Mad, I didn't really put a stop on it, so I kept working on it, and that really lets the song, you know, I got to play around with it for something like 14 minutes, and it's really one of my favorites.
But I mean, like, it works for that boss fight, because, like...
Movements is what I'm looking for.
Because, like, you know, like, because there's 4 parts to that boss fight, because you're climbing up the tower until you eventually get to Kefka.
Yes.
And, like, it just works perfectly. And, like, each, like, different movement of that song just, like, changes, and, like, it just ramps up more and more in intensity until you finally get there, and it's just like, dude.
It's so good. And I've heard And I obviously don't have the information on it right offhand because this is something that I would have had to look up beforehand. But I've heard that each section of the song, each movement of the song, is supposed to have a different title.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard references to it being somewhat of like a Divine Comedy style thing.
Yeah.
But which would make sense. Divine Comedy, it's a god and a clown.
Mm-hmm.
Ha. Anyway,
Ah.
but it's literally just a musical masterpiece. I think if you put that song, the orchestrated version of it, and gave it to somebody who listens to classical music, they would never know that it was from a video game.
Yeah. Like, God.
It makes One Winged Angel look like preschool.
No joke.
Like, Kefka and his theme just completely outrank anything Sephiroth could even think about doing. I'm fine with that.
Like
Kefka is amazing.
Yeah, like we talked about how like the Extreme was like such a good boss fight music, but like Dancing Bad is even better than that.
Yeah, I would say that if I was going to rank them, I would put Dancing Mad, then the Extreme immediately after it.
Which is like, it's insane because like you're comparing a song that was on a CD based platform to a song that was on a 16-bit cartridge. And you're just like, yeah, I'll take this one that was older and like was on like not that great of a sound chip, but yeah, it's way better.
It is. It's a beautiful masterpiece of a song. The entire soundtrack is beautiful. It's wonderfully done.
There was a song I had to look up, but it was there's a song that plays when like I think it's called Awakening, and I think like it plays a couple times when like literally Terra awakens.
Ah.
Like I think it's like the first time she awakens after like she starts getting her memories back, and then when she awakens again after she has her Esper freak out.
Yeah.
But like I feel like if you take that song and like modified it and put it like into the Sega CD, like that song could easily just have been in Snatcher, which like I think Snatcher is one of like the best video game soundtracks as well. So like that's high praise. But like that song, it's so weird because like it's such like a jazzy type of like intro to that song, and like the way it sounds, it's amazing. Like it doesn't sound like it should have come from the Super Nintendo sound trip, basically.
I could see that.
Which I feel like you could say about like just the entire soundtrack in general. That like
You could. I mean, I know that Uematsu doesn't usually cite this one as his favorite game that he did, although he does say Dancing Mad's one of his favorites. I think that this is one of Uematsu's best games, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he did some really good work after that. I've already said multiple times, I still think 8's better as a whole, but I think that this is one of the best ones that he has. And it's interesting when you listen to certain things in Final Fantasy VI. Like, I don't know if you noticed that there are certain parts of the opera that sound a lot like Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII.
Huh. I didn't know that. Notice that.
Mm-hmm. When she's doing her big singing part towards what's his face, her knight friend. I can't remember his name. But it sounds a lot like Aerith's theme.
Final Fantasy VII just got a copy off of what was good, obviously.
Pretty much, yeah.
And there's the thing as well, like in 7, where like there's a sound effect that's just Kefka's laugh sped up, right?
Actually, Kefka's laugh is, I pretty much think verbatim in the hotel, the haunted hotel in Golden Saucer.
Mm-hmm.
It's in there. Kefka's laugh is also reused in Chrono Trigger.
For what?
Ozzy.
I don't remember what that is.
Ozzy is a villain at some point, but Ozzy's laugh is Kefka's laugh.
I guess, I mean, that makes sense because like those games were developed pretty close to each other.
Pretty close together, yeah. But yeah, Kefka's laugh is also in Final Fantasy VII. It might be in other games, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know that it's in that in the hotel in Final Fantasy 7.
Right. Yeah, I think that's like the most famous example of it. Which like
Kefka's laugh is terrifying.
yeah, like God, how did they make such a sound just so haunting and terrifying on the Super Nintendo?
Um, I beyond me how they did it. It's so talented. Okay, I found the part you're talking about. Um, when Cloud falls into the life stream,
Mm-hmm.
the sound effect is also Kefka's laugh,
Okay.
just pitched.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
So there
That
you go.
laugh.
It's. Did you know that Kefka's apparently 35?
It's a 35-year-old edgelord.
Um. Also, unless you run into this one particular NPC in Vector, you will not know this, but Kefka was actually the first experimental Magitech knight.
I read that today.
Yeah, and so his mind snapped during that process. So that's a lot of why he's so loony and just evil.
Yeah. Literally losing his mind.
Yeah, he's literally losing it. And, they never really explained the clown outfit, but I would assume that that's part of his insanity.
Yeah.
Because why would you willingly put on a clown outfit?
And just, yeah, it's a good question.
Because, I mean, he takes down a general, a city, and
the world.
an emperor, and the world. So, a general, city, emperor, world, he takes down so much stuff to become, like, this ultimate villain. You gotta applaud him for his efforts. He tried really hard. He got really far.
When you're doing that much crazy stuff, like it doesn't matter what you're wearing, I guess, at some point.
I guess not. Also, I just accidentally quoted Linkin Park and didn't mean to.
Fantastic.
Wow.
So obviously, I think like North American people know this game because it came out as 3 here.
Yes.
Just going in like the order that these releases came out here, because 4 was 2, 1 was 1, but then they just skipped 2, 3, and then 5 as well. But the localization for the Super Nintendo version specifically isn't the best, because like Phoenix down, but spell Phoenix Phoenix.
Right.
I saw that, I was like, But apparently that localization was only allowed to be completed in 30 days.
Yes.
Which is completely insane.
So there's a lot of lore behind the localization, and some people will swear by it and some people will not. And I understand a lot of the choices that he made. Like one of the things that I forgot was the case was the fact that Terra's mom is named Madonna in the Super Nintendo version.
Huh.
Her name's supposed to be Madeline. Like that's what the actual translation was supposed to be, but so yeah, Madonna.
Gotta get your pop culture references in.
Yeah, I think maybe he was thinking more like Madonna and Child.
Oh yeah.
When he went with that. But and like the weird faux cursing that we talked about Kefka doing. Like what was the ship something? Son of a ship?
I think that's right, yeah, son of a ship.
I don't remember. It was something son of a ship something, but I can't remember what it was. And so there's a lot of submariner, son of a submariner.
Yeah.
So those are weird things, and we talked about before we started recording how Terra's name is not actually Terra in the Japanese version.
Good old Tina.
I appreciate the fact that she's Terra instead of Tina. The only Tina in my life is Belcher.
Oh.
But I mean, the localization is weird at points, and a lot of the characters, especially like some of the summons, have weird names. But well, and like you said, the items, like all the items had to be retranslated once they did the PlayStation version of it.
Yeah, makes
So,
sense.
because there's like what tonics and things like that in there that people are like, I don't know what this does.
Basically, just like to reunify it with like everything else that had come out at that point, essentially.
Yeah, they just had to standardize it, which makes sense. I can understand why they would want to, but like you said, it was done very, very quickly and by like one guy.
Which is a lot to ask.
It is.
For like a game this large.
That's what I'm saying. This is not a short game, so it's not like this guy was like, well, I can do this in a few weeks. This is fine.
I kind of did actually feel it was kind of short. But I guess maybe that was just me, even though like I did beat it in like, what, 30 hours-ish? Because we were talking last week when we recorded about like where I was. And like legitimately, I thought I was like halfway through the game.
You were saying like halfway, and I was like, no, you're getting close.
I'm like, yeah, like, because like I had basically, by the time we recorded last week, I had just gotten to where Kefka had destroyed the world, essentially.
You had started World of Ruin.
So I legitimately thought like that was like the halfway mark or something. But no, it's like the 80% mark, basically.
You legitimately thought I was joking with you when I was saying you were close?
Yeah.
Oh my god, why would I joke around with that?
I don't know. Like I just thought like, you know, that like, oh, that's probably just like the halfway mark or something. Like there's still a lot of stuff to do. It was like, nope, not really.
Gotta go get your ragtag group of people.
Which was kind of like maybe like my least favorite part of that game, just because like the game kind of wasn't the best at like telling you where exactly everyone was.
Where to find them, yeah.
Yeah. And just like, and like the biggest pet peeve I had for that game was the world map. The mini world map that would show up in your corner was basically indecipherable.
It was. I also don't like it when you're on a vehicle, whether it's a chocobo or an airship, and you're in that mode trying to get around the map. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going.
Yeah.
Because it kind of switches to like a weird first person mode as opposed to like you just moving around on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
I basically had to pull up like some pull out like map that Nintendo had made back then, and like it had like all the locations for the World of Ruin. So I was like, this is basically what I'm going to use to figure out where I'm going.
That makes sense.
It helped. It definitely made it easier to get around to all the places I need to go. So, pro tip there.
Yeah. I want to talk about how there's some real heart-wrenching moments in the positive and the negative in Final Fantasy VI.
Okay.
So the first thing that comes to mind is when Celeste wakes up after the World of Ruin comes to be. Like that's one of the most iconic scenes in gaming, period. It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really hard thing to get through, and it's so beautifully written that like you feel for her. It's not just like, oh, this is a character, she's gonna get through it, da 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 da. You're like, oh my god.
Even especially like when she wakes up and Sid's like, yeah, it's been a year since everything happened. I was like, holy shit.
You literally texted me, you're like, it's been a year?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it really helps you feel the weight of what Kefka did way more than just saying like, oh no, the world's over, da 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 da. Like it makes you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you kind of feel somewhat like helpless for a while.
Yeah.
Which I think is somewhat useful in this sense because it makes you come around and be like, okay, no, we're going to get out of this helplessness. We're going to do this. And it helps you have that final drive to defeat him in the end. But oh man, it's rough.
Yeah.
Also involving Celeste, I really heart-wrenching in an opposite way. I love the scene with Locke when he saves her.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this whole underlying thing with Locke with Rachel, which is another thing that really hurts. that he could never save the person he cared about. And so this was his opportunity finally to save the person that he cares about. And I was like, oh, Locke and Celeste, they're so cute.
And
It made me
she
happy.
even does like the opposite of that too, like in saving him.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. It's so good. Um, those two are perfect together, and I'm glad. And again, the Rachel thing hurts a lot because Locke not being able to save her and her losing her memory and her being killed and then like put into a weird. So that's creepy, by the way, that he put them
Yeah.
on weird stasis. I'm like, Locke, honey, no, no, just no. Um, but I'm glad that she finally got to like let go and he got
Yeah, like he gets that closure finally.
yeah, it helped. Um, then there's the fact that Shadow and Realm actually are connected, which oh, his dreams, they're intense.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't expect that because Shadow, when you first meet him, which is when you're with Sabin,
Yeah.
and he's going to the train,
Choo choo.
like he comes across as very like, oh, I'm a mercenary, I don't care about anything, da 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 da. But then you find out that he's really just running away.
Yeah, because like basically like anytime you get him, like you can pick him up for battle and have him in your party, but then like there's the offset chance that he'll just be like, "Well, I did what I was paid for. Peace out later."
Yep. Ugh. Um. Speaking of the train,
Choo choo.
also with Cyan's family,
Oh.
with his son and his wife on the train. Oh, that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That really hurt because you get over the ridiculousness of you're like, oh man, Sabin just like suplexed the train. That's really funny, haha.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a good moment. We're all getting off this train, and then like you see them going on, and you're like, oh no,
Oh, no.
oh no, now I understand what's happening. Oh no, this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then like his son's like, I'll take care of mom. I'm like, oh.
It's rough.
It hurts.
Oh.
And also like especially considering that they died because of Kepka poisoning them.
Yep.
Like it hurts.
Which like even following along the events of that, like just watching him like go in and discover like both of them, it's like, oh man.
Right, because his wife is dead, and he sees that, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well maybe my son's still alive." And then he like takes him out of the bed, and you see his sprite pop across the screen, like you can tell he's horrified.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, like usually poisoning is not a pretty death
No.
to begin with. So I'm sure that if you had seen it in a like realistic way, it would not have been pretty.
Mm-mm.
But you can just see. And that's the thing is that these are sprites, but you can see how horrified he is by just the way the sprite pops across the screen and is like moving away from the bodies.
It's like we were talking about earlier, like just how cinematic this game is. Like you never expect like a 16-bit game of any magnitude to be as cinematic as this thing is, but like all of those sprites have character to them. Like they have their own little like motions and everything, and like
Edgar has his finger wag.
yeah, and like you can tell like when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're feeling pain, and all that sort of stuff. Like it's literally amazing.
It is. It's so phenomenal. I was also really happy that Edgar and Sabin actually like got back together and got to be bros again, because you find out the whole story of like the coin flip and how he had tricked him.
Mm-hmm.
And in many other games, people would interpret that as like, oh, he's being greedy. He wants to be king. Da 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 da. He usurped the throne. But that wasn't what he was doing. He was actually trying to help his brother and live out his dreams. And he took the responsibility on himself. And like, wow, that's intense. It really is.
Yeah, he wanted his brother. He knew his brother wanted to be like have this freedom and everything. Like, and they basically explicitly say that in the game too.
Yeah.
And Edgar, like, even like this is all coming off like their parents dying, and he's like having to make all of these decisions like right then and there, and basically does that. It's intense.
I mean, he essentially like helped his brother live out his dream,
Hmm.
but again, he took on the burden of having to be a king, and at a very young age. I think they're like 17 when this happens,
Yeah, they're young.
because I think they're both 27 by the time of the story. Um, Edgar is wonderful, except for in one instance in particular I can think of,
What's that?
and otherwise he's just phenomenal. He's a little creepy towards Realm at first.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and then like I know in the American version he's like, "Oh, never mind, you're 10." Um, in the Japanese version he never does that. He continues to hit on her.
That's a shame.
It is. Especially cuz like I said, he's 27 by the
Mm-hmm.
time the story's happening and she is 10. It's horrific. So that's Edgar's real bad knocking point. Like his womanizing is comical because you realize that he's just terrible at it. Like he's not even a good womanizer.
Like everyone in the castle you meet's like, yeah, he just does that. We really don't care at this point.
Right. Like if you go and sleep in the like castle inn
Mhm.
of Figaro, the girl's like, "Did he hit on you?" Yeah, he does that. It never really works, but we
Yeah.
just kind of play along with it. And I'm like, "Oh my god, they're like his subjects."
It, it's even funnier like when you have him in the party and there's like they'll just say that and like, oh, it's the king. Hey,
Hey, what up?
like they don't even care.
No, it's so funny. I really like Edgar, even though he does have his weird moment. Um, it just all the characters are great. Again, some of the like optional characters don't get as fleshed out,
Right. I mean, because they're optional characters.
right? But even then, like Vincent in Final Fantasy VII had a lot of depth,
Yeah.
and Yuffie stole all your materia, so she sucks.
It's true. That part was terrible.
It garbage, actual garbage. There was something else I was thinking. Oh, and it was also intense because you can literally lose a character, like you can lose Shadow and he can die and it'll be permanent.
Mm-hmm.
And that was newish.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know they really, really took it another level in Final Fantasy VII, but like that was a big deal because you never really knew, like, oh, I should wait for him.
Because basically, when you like, because after when Kefka like destroys the world, right?
Yeah, it's on the floating continent.
Oh, yeah, on the
and
floating
then,
continent.
like, yep.
You're getting off of that basically, and like you get to the point where it's like jump on the ship or wait, and then like because it didn't say anything at first, but if you select wait and then you hit it again, it'll be like jump on the ship, wait for Shadow,
Yeah.
and then you basically have to wait there until like 30 seconds or something is left on the timer. And then he'll be like, hey, I'm here, let's go. Or if you're like me, you accidentally get into a randomized battle with like 40 seconds left, and you're like, uh-oh.
Oh, that would be so scary.
But I think like I finished that battle with like 10 seconds left, and then like just hurriedly got to that spot, and it was like, he's like, hey, what's up, let's go. And I was like, oh god, thank you. Which especially like it makes like the portion when you find him again like real strange because I guess like if you don't rescue him, that like Realm is supposed to be in his spot or something. So that's why the game's like it will refer to Shadow as like a female in that point. Yeah. It's like it was super weird because like get her to safety. And I was like, wait, what? Shadow a girl? What? That's super strange.
No, Shadow is not a girl.
I looked it up and I was like, wait, what?
He fathered a child.
Yeah.
He has a cool attack dog.
He does have a cool attack dog.
Yeah.
Interceptor is real cool.
Interceptor is a super, super cool dog.
And just randomly will run in during battle and attack stuff.
It's like the precursor of Angelo from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
All the later Final Fantasy games had to steal something from 6.
I mean, it worked. I mean, it's a fabulous game.
It's very true.
Was there anything that you really didn't like about it, though? I'm just curious. Besides, like, some of the translation issues. I know you had problems with some of that,
Yeah.
but...
And, like, the world map stuff. I mean, I feel
All
like
right.
maybe, like, at the end when you had to split up into 3 different parties, I wasn't that big of a fan of. Mostly just because, like, I wasn't anticipating it. So, like, I had
Yeah.
leveled up, like, my core group up to, like, nearly level 50 at that point. And everyone else was in, like, the mid-30s.
I think that's one thing that would have been really helpful in this game is if everybody, like, gained some experience in the background.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, I don't think any game was doing that at the time. Like, that's still, like... I feel like that's still relatively, like, a newer concept for RPGs nowadays, even still.
I wonder what the first game that did it was.
That's a good question.
But I feel like it would have really helped Final Fantasy VI because there is so much opportunity for things to get split up that you're like, oh, well, now I'm using somebody that I never use ever. And they don't know any magic.
That's basically kind of what happened to me. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
at the end, like, you had to fight the 3 statues that Kefka moved and basically messed everything up.
Yeah.
And, like, 2 of them, I was like, yeah, I just blast right through them because I have good characters. The other one, it was a struggle to get through. Because it was like, I have one good character and then 3 other ones that aren't that great. So I feel like it was, it was like Edgar, Strago, Cyan, and Go-Go.
Wow. So Edgar was basically carrying that party.
Basically, yeah, like, the whole basis of that battle would be, like, Edgar would hit Ultima.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope that I could get the turn cycle to where Go-Go would follow right behind him to copy that.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
And have, like, I had Strago throwing bio at him, at that statue, because that was something it was weak to. And then Cyan would just heal. Or essentially it became, like, Cyan was throwing Phoenix Downs out the wazoo. Because during that battle, if, like, I took, like, a slight bit of damage, and then, like, Edgar got hit with Fire 3, dead. It was rough. But then I got through that, and then it was all fine dandy.
Did you appreciate the fact that Strago decided to join a cult at one point?
That was real weird.
He's like, well, this seems fine. I'm gonna join this cult now.
Like, I didn't really...
All right.
I didn't really go investigate that, because I went and got him and then just left. So, like, I don't know why he did, but then, like... Because I know, like, that place in general is, like, it's a secret area to where you can go fight, like, a boss and all that sort of stuff. But, like, yeah, you just roll up and Realm's like, what are you doing? And he's like, gotta go, guys, later.
I just thought it was so funny. I'm like, he joined a cult? Okay, then.
Everyone just goes through, like, weird stuff during that time between the year that passes, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I think is, it's real interesting, because, like, you expect, like, when you go and try and find everyone, that everyone's going to be like, all right, yeah, we're going to go take it to him, yeah. But it's not necessarily that simple. I mean, like, Tara's found, like, this community that she's involved with. She, like, takes care of all these children. She's overwatching, like, this couple who's about to have their first kid. And, like, when you find her, she's like, yeah, I don't have the will to fight anymore.
Yeah, no, she's actually one of the more interesting ones to me after the ruin happens, because she doesn't want to be involved anymore. She's like, no, I'm done. And actually, like, the first time that you go to the town where she's hanging out, you can talk to an NPC and she's like, hey, look at these 2 people. They're 16 and in love.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's cute. And then, like, it becomes something of a greater deal later on. You're like, oh, okay.
Whoops, one of them's pregnant.
They clearly are in love.
But I really just liked, like, how interesting, like, the characters all took, like, different turns. Like, just in between, like, just a single year from all that happening. Edgar becomes a criminal. Locke is off just, like, trying to find that treasure that will heal what's-her-face? Rachel. Sabin's just, like, holding the house up. He's like, oh, hey, Celeste. You want to go fight Kefka? All right, cool, let's go. Sabin's just down.
Yeah, he is.
He's down to fight.
But it makes sense given his character. Like, even at the beginning of and I say beginning, but, like, on the riverbed, he's like, oh no, Tara's leg got grabbed by Ultra. It's time to jump in the water and go try and find him.
Yep.
Like, he's just down to do whatever. He's like, yeah, whatever. This seems fun. All right. Can I suplex it? I'm in.
Yep. Cyan's like writing letters to a girl who lost her boyfriend in the war or whatever. Gal's off doing his own thing. We talked about Celeste. You know,
what does he ever do?
He went off in the wild again. Then you find him, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" Celeste deals with Sid dying and then trying to commit suicide unless you do that fast enough, and then he doesn't, and it's like, "Hey, I got a raft. Go do your thing."
Yep.
Setzer's dealing with a lot of things. He's like, Setzer's also another one who's like, "Yeah, no, I don't want to go fight."
Yeah.
Because I don't have an airship, and why
well,
bother?
And he has to deal with like his girlfriend's death and everything by going into the tomb to get the other airship, and that's not something that he had wanted to personally like deal with.
Yeah.
So like you kind of like, well, all right, let's go save the world. Also, let's break up some emotional trauma for you. Yay!
Yeah. Shadow is injured in a cave, and then you find him, and he's like, "Hey, thanks."
Hey, thanks.
Hey, thanks.
Whatever.
I'll just rest for a while. Realm's working for some shady art dealer.
Oh, it's super shady.
Painting, and then oops, there's a demon in this painting.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Her skill of painting is really interesting. Like, it's a cool concept.
Yeah. Strago we talked about, he's in a cult. Mog, I never found again, so he's off in a mine somewhere.
You just left Mog.
I was gonna look for him, but like I just never could find him for some reason. So I was like, whatever. I'm not gonna use him anyways. It's whatever. Umaro, you just randomly find in the mines as well, but he'll only join if you have Mog. So like he's just a character that joins in the World of Ruin anyways. And also Go-Go's in Zone Eater or Zone Ender.
Zone Ender.
The stomach, and he's like, "What's up? I can mimic things." I really like the scene at the end there with him, and he's like, they're like, "You both have to do these buttons at the exact same time." He's just like, "I got this. Don't worry." And it's like boom, boom, and he's like, "Yeah, what's up?"
I mimic things.
That's the only thing I can do. Yo, you cast Phoenix down on something, I'm gonna cast Phoenix down on something. But yeah, like it was just real interesting to see like just how, because you expect, especially I think from RPGs in general, just like the trope is like, oh, something bad happens and you gotta round the troops up again. Everyone's just gonna be
everybody's super motivated.
Everyone's gonna be gung ho and motivated to go, and this is definitely just not the case.
They just kind of do their own thing and like are living their lives, even if their lives suck.
Yeah, which their lives suck.
Their lives really suck.
Because that world sucks.
Kefka succeeded. Also, his sprite, by the way, when he becomes like a god final villain, his sprite is beautiful.
It's very big too.
It's huge. He's a tower.
What do you, I guess like, you know, we've talked about how good this game is. What do you think is your favorite moment in this game?
Favorite moment? Honestly, as weird as it's gonna sound, I think that I have to give it to Celeste after you find out, like, with the World of Ruin. Like, that she finds out that it's been a year and she's dealing with Sid, and, like, it's a really emotional moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful moment, yeah.
It is, and I think that's part of why it's just, like you said, it's very cinematic, it's heart-wrenching whether you succeed or fail, depending on what you do. Like, it's intense. And I feel like in terms of story, like I said, it gives a lot of impact to what just happened, and I think it's one of my favorite moments because it's so impactful.
Yeah.
I can't think of what else I would pick. That's the one that sticks out of my head the most. What about you?
I think I might go with the opera.
Oh, the opera.
Just because, like, you know, like I said earlier, like I'd heard about it. I didn't know exactly what it was, but like coming out of it, I was like, that was fucking cool.
And you get ultros.
You get ultros. You get like weird symphonic singing from the Super Nintendo. And just like the whole thing is just, it's cool.
it's a story within a story as well.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
I think it really just adds to like the motif of like this game being very Shakespearean.
Yeah, it does.
And just like the ways like the whole, even like just the grander scale of the story, it's like it's basically a 5-act play. And
I can see that.
And then you have like the story within a story inside of it. It's like there's a lot of cool shit within this game, and just like even like the overarching weird meshing of stories that are going on within the opera itself, where it's like, oh, we're putting Celeste on stage to trick Setzer into thinking she's this other girl, so we can get his airship and use it. Oh, here comes Ultros. He's gonna try and ruin everything.
Oh, now Locke is actually a character in the opera.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous, but it's also just so cool.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. It's really, really good. And you do hear a lot about the opera when it comes to this game, but hearing about it and experiencing it are two very different things.
I'm glad I never like heard anything like specifics about it beforehand, because I think that really helped me like appreciate it for what it was worth.
That makes sense.
Even for someone who like in general maybe not like the biggest fan of operas or stuff like that, like even like it's still real cool.
Yeah, I mean, I would not say that I'm a fan of opera, but the scene is rad.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. I mean, I would agree with you. That's one of the most important scenes, and it's really, really cool.
And maybe like a smaller one, but when Kefka is destroying the world, when Celeste like when he's trying to like, hey Celeste, go murder all your friends, and she like turns around to stabs him. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew like nothing was gonna come of it because he was probably just gonna be like, oh, I'll shrug this off. Like, oh, that was such a dope moment.
Oh, it's so cool. I also really like the connection between Tara's mom and dad when you get the scene where they're meeting and then they're basically saying like, you know, maybe we can make this work, and it has like a weird kind of like we become stars and mingle together and surprise there's a baby.
Yeah.
But I did kind of like the whole like star-crossed lovers type thing that appeared there. It was fun.
And then you can just put her dad on everyone and have him learn the magic.
Yeah, not fun for those two, but fun for me. But yeah, you can equip her dad. Just
dad equipped.
That was one of the first things I did, though. I was like, all right, I can equip Tara's dad. I'm going to put Tara's dad on Tara because she has to learn this first, or else I'm going to feel really bad.
So goofy. And like even that moment as well, like that flashback is real telling, because like everything you hear up until that point is like, oh, we had this huge war over magic and everything, and the Espers hate us and all of this, and like there's like this real feud between humans and Espers. But then like you see this and it's like, well, no, it could have all worked, but you guys were all dicks about things and tried to screw everything up. Ugh.
Terrible. And like the Emperor got nothing out of it besides being killed by Kefka.
Nope.
So
he got out crazied.
GJ Emperor. Kefka wins.
Literally.
I mean, yeah, like I said, he's one of the only Final Fantasy villains who actually succeeds at everything that he was trying to do. I mean, he gets taken down eventually because it would be a bad game if he didn't. But like everything he sets out to do, he does. He's like, you know what? I'm going to poison these people. Done. I want to destroy the world. Done. I want to become a god. Done. Like, it's like an evil villain checklist, and he just checks off everything really, really rapidly. And you're like, dang it, you got to be bad at something.
Which I think really helps when like you're able to give him his comeuppance at the very end.
It does. It feels good.
Which like I think that final boss is actually pretty cool mechanically as well, just because like you go into it, but then like before you even fight like the first three thingamajigs before you get to Kefka, like the game's like rank your party members in order of how you want them. So it's like basically everyone is going to fight against Kefka unless you're good and you don't really need to, but it's like But it really gives you that camaraderie feeling of like everyone's against this guy, and if we need to, we will use everyone.
We will just keep throwing people at him.
Yeah, it's and like in the other games, it would just be like, oh, there's your party.
Yep.
That's it. Which mostly worked for me, just because like I had 4 people leveled up very well. Lost one of them in the Kefka before the Kefka fight, which wasn't great, but then it really didn't matter.
Yeah, you sent me a screenshot, and I was like, so Shadow's dead?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, well.
Shadow served his purpose of throwing Excalibur at Kefka. And that was pretty much all I needed him to do. And he died, and I was like, and everyone else, I was like, well, I'm just going to keep healing Edgar, Sabin, and Terra. They're going to keep casting Ultima, and that's going to be their job. They're just going to stay alive and just mess this dude up. And they did.
Yep.
It was very satisfying.
You beat Final Fantasy VI, finally.
I did. I think I texted you afterwards where I was like, I'm so mad that I had not played this game sooner.
You did. You scared me because you're like, I'm so mad. I'm like, oh no, he didn't like it.
Because there was a there was a time, I think, when I got my Vita, like maybe like a few months afterwards, like in 2013 or something, when I bought Final Fantasy VI, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play this finally, and I started to play it, but then like I just completely dropped it. Didn't get that. I got to, I think, basically when you pick up Sabin, and then just like it fell off my radar.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, trust me, I know. Because man, that game is very, very, very good.
So now you've played one of the best Final Fantasies that was ever made.
Well, time to play all the worst ones. Time to break out my copy of Final Fantasy 13.
I mean, Final Fantasy 12 just got re-released. You could play that. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the director. From one of the directors of Final Fantasy 6. Comes Final Fantasy 12, and it's fake MMORPG.
Yeah, don't play the bad Final Fantasies. Play only the good Final Fantasies.
Hey, I played a decent amount of Final Fantasy 12 back in 2007, 6, 7.
I think it was 6.
Something like that. Back before I was actually like, I knew how to play JRPGs. So like I guess for that, like with the way that combat for the game was, like it appealed to me way more because it wasn't just traditional turn based. But I feel like nowadays I would just be like, eh.
It made me cry.
I bet.
That and Dirge of Cerberus made me cry.
Because definitely just like coming off of like, you know, excluding 11 because that's just a completely different thing.
Right.
But like coming off of 10 and 10-2, like 12 is such a different thing altogether.
Yes. And keeping in mind how much I love 10 and 10-2.
Right. So no wonder you cried.
I cried a lot.
And then you get 13 afterwards.
And I played like maybe 3 hours of that, and then I was just like, nope.
Yeah, none. But you have to play it for 20 hours before it gets good.
So basically what we're saying is that Final Fantasy is no longer good.
Yeah. 14 is pretty alright.
Yeah, but then 15 came out.
Yeah, 15 sucks. Square Enix has put out one good Final Fantasy in the last 15 years. And that's the remake of 14. Because 14 was already... Because they had to remake 14 because it was so bad.
Right, that's the thing, is that 14 was even a remake of a game because they're like, oh wait, no, this game sucks. We have to redo it entirely from the ground up.
Yep.
Sigh.
But Final Fantasy 6.
Final Fantasy 6 is wonderful, and you should play it if you haven't already. Sorry we spoiled it all, but you should still play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good game.
It is.
Hey, if you're...
I give it 2 thumbs up.
I was also going to give it 2 thumbs up. I mean, hey, if you're getting it for the Super Nintendo Classic, you can play it on there, or a bevy of a billion other places to play it. Like, maybe you want to buy a cartridge version from the Super Nintendo. There's the PS1 version that came with one of the Final Fantasy Chronicle anthology things where they just combine a bunch of the older games together. It's on the GBA, which you've played the GBA version, right?
I have.
Is it good?
I mean, yeah, I can recommend it.
Okay.
I would recommend either the Super Nintendo or the Vita version. Before I would recommend anything else. But
Yeah.
the Game Boy Advance version is not bad. I would not recommend you play it on mobile.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that in a second. It's
Oh,
also on Wii Virtual Console, PSN, and then on Android, iOS, and PC, which is the versions you do not want to play because, especially the PC version, which is based off of the mobile version, where they basically tried to HDify everything and like made the sprites real smooth and too bright, and it looks real bad.
it looks terrible. It's really, really upsetting. And especially if you're trying to do like a touch device. Like imagine trying to do Saban's combos on a touch device.
I mean, maybe if you had to like do spins, like some of those are, that might not be terrible, but everything else.
Eh. But I would say, you know, if you're getting the Super Nintendo coming out in September, that's a good version to do. Like I said, I have mine on my Vita, and I think it's also on my PS3. That's a great version. Do that. There are options. You should play Final Fantasy VI if you have not played Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah. Like we said, the Super Nintendo version is going to be a little bit wonky with localization. I think the PS1 version is fixed a little bit, but it still is based off of the Super Nintendo version, and then they retranslated it for the GBA version. So if you're a stickler for localization, that might be some avenues to go towards.
Loading times on the PS1 version's a little long too.
Yeah, that's the one bad thing about like those Super Nintendo or those NES, the SNES Square games that they put out on the PlayStation is that like they have load times and it's not great.
No,
it's a real shame.
The cutscenes are really not that good. They don't add a whole lot to it, and I wish they had left them out.
The only good old Square game that they put cutscenes in that was actually kind of good was Chrono Trigger, just because they're anime cutscenes and they don't look bad.
They don't. I mean, they don't look bad in the sense that they don't look aged.
Yeah, and they're not like really bad CG. Is basically what I mean. It's just like
exactly, yes.
Here's some anime, sure.
I can't stand his art style, but
yeah, that's fair.
They're not terrible CG that you're like, oh
yeah,
oh. Is that supposed to be a person? What is that, a thumb? What is that?
It's kind of surprising as well because like you look at 7, 8, and 9 and like they have pretty decent like CG. Like that was what Square was known for during that time period. Correct. But then like the anthology, like the versions of 4 and 6 and whatever else they have out there, like those CG cutscenes just look bad.
It's not good. It's really, really not good. It's
they just make you want to vom.
They do. Like I said, like sometimes you're like, you have this really, really wonderful game. It doesn't need this.
Mm-mm.
There's just really no need for this stuff. Like, why add it?
It almost seemed like they were just like,
we can,
and like, you know, that's kind of what we've become known for is like these really elaborate CG cutscenes from 7, 8, and 9 that we have to put these in here now.
Nah.
And probably they just made them on a low budget as well, so that completely didn't help and probably made them look as not great and didn't age well as the other games specifically. So,
I mean, they kind of look like a foot, so I'd say no.
Look like a foot.
They do. They look like a foot.
They should do a proper remake of 6 at some point.
I agree with
for
you.
something. I don't know what, but something that's not those mobile versions, because that should not be the lasting legacy.
No, I agree with you. Like, I've legitimately been thinking that if they did, which they won't now, but if they had done a 3DS remake of it, like they did Final Fantasy IV's remake for the DS, I would have been so happy with that.
Yeah.
100%. And it would have been perfect because it still has the kind of like spritey look to it with the 3D models, and I just don't understand why they didn't do that.
Because Square hates us.
Square does hate us. Instead, they're giving us a action Final Fantasy VII because, yes, why? Why are we doing this? Square. I just want to punch the entity that is Square Enix in the face.
It's one way to put it.
Yes. Especially Nomura.
Hashtag dunk on Nomura.
Anyways,
Do you have anything else you want to talk about Final Fantasy 6 wise, or is that going to wrap this up?
that wraps it up.
That wraps it up. Well, play Final Fantasy 6, and for more information from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sac.cool if I can spit out letters in an order in a fast way.
Coherent fashion.
Yeah. You can check out previous episodes of this podcast. Those are up there. The mainline podcast, some writings that I've done on there as well. For more
You can check out Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8 episodes that we have.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's all that we've done.
I think so.
Yeah. We need to do a 10-2 episode at some point, though.
Yeah, we do.
For more from Ladyem, go to ladyem.com, where you can see all her writings.
Read a piece about Final Fantasy 10 too.
Yeah. I also have a piece about Final Fantasy 10-2.
Nice. Read his piece too.
It's about 10-2 and Mystic Quest, so
Heck yeah.
2 good games.
2 very good games.
You can follow us on Twitter at Anime Checkup, where you can find us tweeting about stuff we post, and also dumb stuff. Like, I run matches on Fire Pro Wrestling World and post those.
Shenanigans.
Because I made a title because I was like, I'll just make this a goof round title. I was kind of that idea, but then like I put a tournament on to see who would be the first champion, and then like Ann Takamaki beats all of these real life wrestlers to become the champion. So I was like, well, this is just the goof around title now.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I was like posting matches of her defending the belt, and then she lost the belt today to Haru because Haru's character is like very mean and cheats.
I saw that.
There's a match coming up where Haru wins by taking out a scythe and cutting her opponent and then pinning her.
That's how wrestling works.
Yeah, no, that's how wrestling works.
Oh my god.
That's the thing that happens. Also, I made a Hifumi character on there. So you can look for that. You can download that on the Steam Workshop if you own Fire Pro Wrestling World. Cheap plugs. But yeah, look forward to that. And then next week we will talk about, I don't know, something.
I don't have anything ready. We'll go into our Google Doc and be like, hey, this sounds like a good topic.
It's true. Probably will.
Yep. And it'll be great. Look forward to it.
Yep. Let's look forward to that next week. 33s. Double threes.
Oh, snap.
Put some threes on that. I don't know.
Are you Soulja Boying me right now?
Soulja Boy. Tell him to go listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to awesome things next week when we are awesome on the internet. Your second favorite podcast on the internet. Season Language Checkup OVA.